face. You could clearly see the lady sadly looking, saying that she'd take the blame for the crucifixion of her own.
I get up, I get down, I get up, I get down. 2 million people barely satisfied. 200 women watch one woman cry. Too late. The eyes of honesty can achieve. How many millions do we deceive each day? I get up, I get down, I get up, I get down. In charge of who is there, in charge of me. Do I look on blindly and say I see the way? The truth is written all along the page. How old will I be before I come of age? For you, I get up, I get down, I get up, I get down, I get up, I get get up, I get
Hello there. Hello, everybody. Let me,
Hello there.
It got so dark in here. Let me turn some lights on.
It's alone time.
It's because an age of man has passed since the beginning of this thing. Welcome to my live stream, everybody. I'm going to see if I can bring on the Andes. Let's see if this works. I got Zoom, which means...
the Andes.
Yeah, I have to see if I could... How do you do it on Zoom where you have like everybody on screen at once? Is there a way to do that?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
There's a view button up at the
view.
right corner.
Look
gallery.
at this. Look at this. Okay, well that'll have to do.
You can tell the
That'll have to be good enough. All right. Welcome. Thank you so much. Let's see, who do we got here? We have 211 viewers, I think. Is that correct? That's a lot of people. So Let's say hello to some people. Let's say hello to Henry Welsh, Rob Scalise, Steve Broderick, Sean Jones, X-Man DLT, Dr. Baseface, Joshua Batten, Hydrofish, JTB, Jason Meinhardt, Ron Moses, Mark 1138, Daniel, Martin Bolak, Leon Sanjanini. What's up, Leon? Steve Campbell, Hippie Long, Poyman Dave, Michelle K. Williams, hi Michelle, Dave Singleton, Dave Nolan, Raymond B. Crisp, Vin Amorosa, Sean Lade, Randy Palladino, Lori Galliano, Marco Nisi, John Schultz, the moderator, Drew Stompanato, Maddie B, Christian, what's up Christian, Chris D, Steve Broderick, I'm repeating names I know, Riley63, Randy Wilcox, John Schwartz, Stupid Fluffy, hey Fluffy, Greg Chance, Philip it's going so fast, Philip Waller, Joe Cartelli, Hurdy-gurdy guy, Bionic Chris, Pedro Julio, oh Jesus, Dave Clemens, Hammerhead, Vimana, Diego. Okay, hello everybody. That's what I'll say. We're here to discuss the. I wonder if I can hold on. I think there's a better way to do this on the Zoom with the view. No, I guess that's it. Can I make? Oh, can I make me go away? Go away, Richie. Oh, there we go. That I can work with. Hold on, I'm give me a second. I'm gonna do some housekeeping here on the Zoom. This is very professional.
It is.
Yeah, don't worry about it. There's nothing to see here. Oh, look how big they are now. Look how big the Andes are.
Live editing with Richie Castellano.
That's right. This is what it's all about. I'll go here. There we go. Look how nice that is. Look up. There we go. Okay, fine. So, thank you guys very much for watching our premiere of Close to the Edge. I'm assuming everybody saw it and is not here to ask me questions about something unrelated. Yes, this is Band Geeks behind the scenes. Okay, so if anybody has questions about Close to the Edge, how we did it, Oh, thank you very much to Les and Dave. Thank you so much. Where's the song? Scro, you missed it. You missed it, bud. Everybody say hi to Damien Scro, our buddy.
Hi, Damien.
Sup?
So
I'm gonna have to look at this for the chat.
Before I start answering questions, I just want to point out that for the three of us, if I could speak for us, I think this is kind of like. Thank you, Raymond B. Chris. Thank you very much. I think this is like a teenage dream come true. Do you guys agree with that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Riveting repartee we got here today. Thank you, Raymond.
You're somehow got frozen on there, by the way.
Yeah, we're frozen.
You're frozen. Okay.
Yeah.
We've been talking for like 10 minutes, and yeah.
The video's frozen. Oh, look at that.
Our faces. Yeah.
Is the video? Let's see. Is Zoom frozen? Oh, Zoom just. I think Zoom just. Oh, wait a second. Wait. Ah, there we go.
There we are.
Because when I minimized it. Okay, so I can't minimize Zoom. Good to know. Yeah, don't worry, guys. Don't worry, Michelle K. Williams. I have just as much difficulty with Zoom as anybody else. Yeah, I was just saying that, like, I think this is kind of like, 16, 17-year-old us. This is like what we would talk about doing all the time. It's just that we had two problems. None of us could sing like John Anderson, and none of the girls that we knew would A, talk to us, or B, care about singing like John Anderson. Then the other problem is that we oh, thank you very much, Tarna. Thank you. We couldn't figure out how to clone Andy Ascalise, which was a problem. See, when me and Andy Graziano met each other, that was like, oh hey, it was like it was like, hey, you do what I do. Okay, cool. Like let's then just do that and split responsibilities. But we hadn't found someone like that with Andy because Andy was better than us, so that was a problem. So then we were lucky as we became old middle-aged men, that we've met enough people who are talented enough to do this sort of thing, in like Rob Kipp and Chris Clark and Anne Marie. And also shout out to my cousin Phil Castellano, because thank you very much, Drew. Thank you. Shout out to him for we called him like the night before we did this, and because we were gonna basically do like hot potato with the guitar, and Andy was gonna play a guitar part, I was gonna play a guitar part, and Amory was going to play guitar parts, and we realized let's stop killing ourselves and just get Phil to do all the parts we don't want to play. So shout out to Phil for doing that. Yeah, and also like with the Siberian Khatru thing, that was cool because we were able to do it with overdubbing, but and COVID kind of necessitated doing it that way. But thank you very much, Steve MD. Thank you. But yeah, that I before I even jump into the questions, I just think that if 17-year-old, 16-year-old Andy, and Richie saw this video, we'd have an orgasmic reaction, I think. And then Andy Ascalise would say, "I thought you said this was going to be a jazz band."
Yeah, it was funny when we were. The last thing we did was and you and I, and actually the very last thing we did was that last section in Siberian Khatru, where the lyrics are basically just words.
Thank you, Hydrofish.
And those words are just ingrained in my memory from listening to this.
That was so weird because I needed to read it, and you were just like, "River, blue tail, fly." Like I was like, "How do you know this?" You were listening to Freddie Hubbard while you were listening to this. How did this sink into you?
I don't know. It was in there somewhere. I listened to it enough that.
Thank you, Steve Bean. There. Thank you, Dr. Baseface. Yeah.
Steve Bean.
So let me see if there are any questions.
It's over 20 years of listening to this for us as well. So.
I think Amory is at a gig or something, so Amory's not coming on tonight. You just have to deal with us handsome fellas. Let's see. Steve Serlacci wants to know, how can I use my Helix to channel switch my Bradshaw rack rig? You know what, Steve? I was going to say something mean, but I won't. I love you, Steve. Okay, Steve Bean wants to say, how long after completing Siberian Khatru did you decide to do NUNI? Was that always the plan? It was not always the plan. I just wanted to add a thank you very much, Dr. Baseface. I just wanted to add another Yes song that was from the Steve Howe era to the live stream, and I was kind of able to sing Siberian Khatru. And also, it had been a while since Andy Ascalise and I did one of those live record a song in front of people. So, it seemed like a good opportunity to do that, and I was able to sing it very painfully, and I listened back to it once we were done with it, and I'm like, wow, this sounds like shit. And I showed it to Anne-Marie, and she said, you sound good. And I said, yeah, but it doesn't sound as good as it can sound. Oh, thank you very much, Michael. Thank you. It doesn't sound as good as it could sound, so I joked while we were doing the live stream that I might have to resort to the nuclear option of getting another vocalist, Amory, obviously. So Amory, from her apartment, she was able to overdub the vocal, which made it so much better. And then as soon as we did that, everybody, all you guys started saying, like, okay, so you're going to do And You and I next. And I always thought And You and I was like an easy song, until I started listening to it, and then I was like, "Oh, thank God I'm not playing guitar on this." That's all I thought. I'm glad that like I'm the designated bass player on these types of covers, because I don't want to, Also, I think Andy Graziano, you have the sort of detail-oriented nature that you need to be able to do something like this. I'm trying to say you're anal, but in a nice way.
It's funny because I'm really not. I think it's like a classical guitar kind of thing, where I just treated it as like, here's the piece, and I learn this piece, and then it's just.
Thank you so much to LC Dad.
Very little
Thank
improvisation going on. The only thing that was improv in this really was like the last solo of it. Everything else is like pretty much a part.
Right.
Parts that people don't really play all the time or whatever. By the way, thank you, Mike Rotundo. Mike Rotundo, college friend of mine, and also an awesome guitar player in his own right. So thanks, Mike.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Rick
Mike used to
Oliver.
play with Bill.
Oh, okay. Our friend Bill.
Remember Bill and the Motherless Goats?
Oh, yeah. So, Maddie B has a question. How did you start the process when recording a song? Do you start with percussion and move on from there? Well, when we did Siberian Control on my YouTube channel, you could still see the live stream of how we did that, and we did that in a similar way. Thank you, Sean Lade. Thank you so much. We did that in a similar way that we did the Roundabout video. Now, the way the Roundabout video had to work, because we recorded that all separate under quarantine, I brought the original recording into Pro Tools, and I did what they call tempo mapping, which is you have to adjust when the song speeds up, slows down. You put any time changes in. You have to do all that. That was a pain, but what was nice is once that work is done, then you have a solid universal reference for everybody to refer to, and it made putting it together much, much easier. So we've kind of been working that way ever since, because of how easy it was to organize Roundabout. So when we did Siberian Control, because of the way we recorded it, 2 people at a time, 1 person at a time, that had to be tempo mapped first. And I believe you and I, Andy, did bass and drums together. We've been a kind of like default rhythm section for 20-something years now. We play well together, So we did. Then we just built parts, one by one, from there, and that's on the live stream. Okay. So.
I field one real quick.
Yeah, go ahead, Andy.
It was something I saw that said Bruford, Steve MD said Bruford supposedly hated this album. That's actually not true. He might not have actually.
Oh, Steve Carello, thank you so much, buddy.
It was a very slow process, but he was so pleased with the way it came out, and he said, "That's it. I'm done with this band. I've made the thing that we were all kind of destined to make, and now it's time for me to do something else."
Yeah. Thank you, Marco. Thank you, Steve Carello.
And the other thing, somebody also asked what the Andes were drinking, and just by happenstance, both of us are drinking Aperol because we're Ginzos.
So after we did, I had Amory over the other day to do vocals for my solo album that I'm working on now, and it was very challenging stuff for her to sing, and I could tell the session was kind of exhausting for her. And after the session, I did one of these. So, how would you feel about doing? Oh, thank you very much, Chris. Thank you. And that's right. R.I.P. Charlie Watts, Dusty Hill, and Don Everly. Thank you. I said, so how would you feel about doing And You and I? And Amory, which I thought was very cool, she said, we have to. So, and that I think that's how all of us felt. It's like, wow, we've come we're a song away from recording an entire, album's worth of Yes covers. We got to do it. And there were a lot of challenges. And it's funny. The first thing we did. Thank you very much, Peter. Thank you. The first thing we did was Andy Graziano came over, and you started early. You started learning this before everybody else, because I think you heard all the acoustic and the lap steel, and you had an oh shit moment where you were just like.
And then the real oh shit moment was 3 weeks ago when I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go on vacation for a little bit, and I don't know the second half of this song. I'm taking my shit with me, and
I had the same thing because you.
Pulling boners on this one.
You guys called me. You're like, we're recording And You and I next week, and I was like, oh, I just finished mixing You Ought to Know, So just I was all on cloud 9 from that being done, and I'm like, oh, I haven't done any of that. So I was on the road with Blue Oyster Cult, and I kept asking Phil, who's my tech with Blue Oyster Cult. I was like, you got to give me a guitar to bring to the hotel room. So I was in the hotel room charting out everything. The funniest thing about how this came together is we had like a Facebook Messenger group where we were all like piecing it together like we were archaeologists. Like Rob Kipp.
I found the backing lyrics to this part.
Yeah. Rob Kipp like sent like a chart. He sent a chart to everybody. Here's the coins and crosses section. What we're supposed to sing, and it was like, oh, so we got that piece of the puzzle. And then Andy Graziano
had a spreadsheet.
Yeah, Andy Graziano.
All the guitar parts.
I'm getting to that. I'm getting to that. Andy Graziano was like, okay. He made little videos like, okay, this is what I need Phil to play here. This is what I need Rob Kipp to play. He like transcribed all the guitars. Then I'm in the hotel and I'm going. I'm singing into my iPad. I wrap my head around the hotel curtains because I'm singing like very loud. You know, coming quickly to terms with all expression laid. And I'm doing it in GarageBand on the iPad to figure out all the harmonies. And then I'm sending, Rob Kipp, this is what you sing during this part. And we were learning it like that just over the internet. And I felt like we were, archaeologists trying to like unlock the secrets close to the edge. And then once that was before that, actually, Andy Graziano came over to my house and we opened up a spreadsheet and we put like times. I'm wondering if I can pull that up. Actually, no, I don't want to do it right now because I'll ruin everything. But we have a spreadsheet where it says, okay, 6 seconds or 60 seconds, and we had all of our names on the spreadsheet. Okay, Andy moves to 12-string. Phil moves to electric. Rob plays the Leslie lick on the electric guitar. Richie's singing. Amory plays keyboards. I don't know if you noticed this in that video. Amory played a bit of keyboards too. Everybody was. I think the laziest person in this was me, which suits me just fine. I just played bass and sang. It was awesome. Even Andy had a triangle to worry about. Okay, here's another one. Is there a score? Bill Wilkie says, is there a score or did you learn it by ear? I don't know about you guys. I learned it by ear.
Yep.
Yeah, ear. Also, like, I used to tell this when I was teaching lessons a lot. People say, oh, I found a tab online. I said, yeah, but who wrote it? Who figured it out? Right. Even the official books are usually not 100% accurate.
And in weird keys sometimes too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the keys is one thing, but even like a transcription that's supposed to be like official and accurate, like sometimes you learn it and it's like, I wouldn't play it like this, and I'm not going to play it like this because, like for example, Chris Squire when he plays Roundabout, I think he plays it all in first position, and I found I got like a better muted sound if I played it all, linear. So it's like. I arrived at the same sound, but in a different way. And I know that one thing that Andy Ascalise does is he doesn't learn the exact part because the live versions are almost just as ingrained in all of us, as Yes fans, as the studio version. So what Andy Ascalise does, which is interesting, is he will say, okay, I'm playing Bill's part here. I'm going to play Alan's part here. And in the mix down, what you'll actually do is you'll say, I need Alan White toms here. You have Bill Bruford toms. So because we record it with the electronic drums, that actually allows us to do that, which is cool. Paige Hegarty wants to know, how long did it take to rehearse And You and I? This Band Geek is big on homework. Like, you have to do your homework, or else we won't get it done. Like
we literally played it for the first time together when we recorded it.
Yeah, so, what we do is we go through it, we talk about, oh, this is going to be a problem, and like we'd map through stuff, and then we just start recording it over and over again until it's good. This one we recorded similar to the way that Yes recorded it, like in the different movements. You know what I mean? I think we did even less than that. I think we did it in like 2 parts mainly.
I mean, the day we get together is the day we rehearse it and record it.
Yeah.
It's a one-day thing.
Yeah. Arjun H wants to know, is Topographic Oceans next? I'm giving you the finger under the table right now, Arjun. Well, I would love to do
doing like the first song. I happen to like a lot the third song, that like Giants weird one with the slide thing.
Yeah.
Because it goes through like 5,000 different sections, but that's they don't even play that song. Probably for good reason.
I don't know. I
Really,
mean,
Richie, you already know the best part at the end, the acoustic part. You know that one pretty well.
yeah, you could probably play it much better than me. You know, I would like to do. I would like to do more off of Fragile, like maybe Long Distance Runaround or.
We've done most of Fragile.
Yeah.
You need me? I'll do Mood for a Day.
Yeah, we need to do all the solo ones.
That's right. You know, we were trying to learn Gates of Delirium for a while, and I kind of gave up. But that's possible. I mean, there's also like I don't want to only do songs from one band. Thank you very much, Z Matrix. You know, I kind of like to, you know, I like doing an Alanis Morissette song. I like doing a Sarah Bareilles song. I like, you know, mixing it up a little bit. All right, let's see. Next question.
And as far as prog goes, we've done ELP, yes, Genesis. We haven't done King Crimson yet.
Oh, that's one of my favorites. So
we did
ready.
Porcupine
Whenever
Tree.
You guys can stomach it. I'm ready.
Let's see. Richie, this is from John Lennon. Big fan. Richie, how long did it take you to produce Close to the Edge? That one was tough because we didn't play that one to a click. So that had lots of challenges. Also, here's the worst story from Close to the Edge. Oh, my meeting's going to end in 10 minutes. I might have to re-up the Zoom, but that's because I'm too cheap to pay for it. In Close to the Edge, we did the ending part unbelievably great. It was the greatest. It like we were all like ready to cry after we played it, and then I look over and I'm like, oh, the cameras weren't recording. That's because like we're doing all of the production ourselves. Thank you very much, Melissa and Shane. We're doing all the production ourselves, so like we're playing, but we're also like trying to keep an eye on like the cameras, making sure everything's recording, and they weren't recording, and I think it was you, Andy Ascalise, who like rallied everybody because I was like ready to just like give up at that point. You're like, no, come on, guys, we got this, we can do it again, and we did it again. It was great, but the one before it was a little better, and no one will ever be able to see it. Here's one for you guys from Hammerhead. How the heck do you remember all the licks?
I don't want to write them down.
You remember them, Ascalise, right?
Yeah, I don't know how. You just gotta listen to it a lot.
Yeah,
a lot.
I had the iPad there in the corner, but after like going through it and drilling it so many times, like I kind of didn't need it. I just really needed it for the lyrics.
I remember Graziano. You had the like sitar like notes in the middle of Close to the Edge written out.
No,
like,
I had that song. I read an awful lot. I read a lot on that one.
You had two stands.
And this new one, I started out with a lot, and then I finally whittled it down. I just read like just to get the intro right. I was kind of reading that, and then like a little bit like when I play that little like country style guitar at the end. I was reading those just to make sure I didn't miss anything.
Yeah.
But besides that, I think I pretty much memorized that one. Just Close to the Edge was like.
If I get disconnected from you guys, I'll send you another link. Okay.
Okay.
Here's one from Gecko's Tube. What drum sounds plugins do you use? Thank you very much, Eric Wild. Thank you. I do a combination of BFD from F Expansion. What I like about BFD is that it gives you full customization over every part of the drum set. That's also what I hate about BFD, because if I want to get like a quick thing happening, there is no quick on BFD. I don't really like any of the presets. So on Close to the Edge, which has a very odd drum sound, like oddly tuned, like not odd, but like non-conventionally tuned toms and that like boingy snare drum and everything like that. That I had to like craft that from scratch, listening back and forth to the record. And then I put like I think a rock kit from Native Instruments, Abbey Road drummer. I put a rock kit for the Alan White section of Close to the Edge. For Siberian Control, I think I just copied that kit. I think I brought it over from that session. For And You and I used Abbey Road drums from Native Instruments, 70s drummer. I tweaked a little bit, and I brought some toms in from Contact Factory Library. Thank you for that question, geckos. Let's see.
That Bruford snare sound, it's really a thing of beauty. You know exactly when it's him playing. There's no question about it.
David C says, take the hat off and see the chrome dome. Yeah, my hair is growing back a little bit. I got to shave again. Jim Stenquist says, will you ever do something like this live at a show in person? That's a lot of rehearsal. You know what the thing is? Like, if we right now, if we had to play a gig, I'd be able to play And You and I.
Yeah.
The other two.
In about a month from now.
About a
maybe
month from now, I'm not going to be able to do it.
I wrote it all down. Fuck.
Steve Broderick, Richie, what did I do to convince Anne-Marie? You know what? Like, I know singers get a bad rap, but Anne-Marie is a musician. She's not like a diva singer. I mean, yeah, she is. But she's also a musician. Like she likes the challenge. Like this is very, very difficult music to sing. You know, not only for the range.
You like the challenge.
Yeah, not only for the absolutely, yeah, but not only for the range and the high range of the notes, but the timing, where to come in. You know, it's so, you know, as someone.
Timing is weird, and there's a lot of lyrics that you wouldn't normally sing. You know,
yes,
something that in there that you would have already had experience with in another kind of song. You know, it's learning a language.
Francisco wants to know what's the next album challenge we have planned. My next album challenge is my album. I want to finish that one.
That's going to be a good one. Wait till you.
Yeah, these guys are on it. Let's see. Oh wait. Wenna says, when you said Teenage Dream, did you mean covering an entire Yes album or spending a Tuesday evening on Zoom? I think both of these things would have blown our minds in 1997.
Anybody would want to see it is another thing that would have been a very impressive thing to us.
Oh, here's a good question that we could both field. Mateus wants to know, what's that beautiful Martin 12 string?
That belongs to a good friend of mine named Tom Cintula, and we play together in a little group called the Buffalo 24, and that's sort of doing his original kind of stuff. But he's got a very nice collection of instruments, and that's one of them. So he was very, very kind to let me borrow it.
And then I proceeded to break it.
Hell, you know.
So yeah, I was trying to muffle the sound hole because it was right next to Anne-Marie, and when there's a lot of bleed in the track, that gives me fewer mixing options. So I was trying to put this, like, I think I have it right here somewhere. Whatever. Oh, here, one of these like sound hole mufflers in there, and I didn't realize.
Feedback destroyer.
Yeah, feedback busters. So I was like gently putting it in, and there was a volume knob on the inside, and I cracked it in. So right now it's at world-renowned repairman Rocco Monterosso, former Band Geek guest. It's at his shop, and he's fixing it because I'm a doofus. Who decides what you all play, or is it a group thing? Usually the guests decide, and I'll tell them. Usually the guests decide, but like we kind of talk about it. It's mainly me, but like for example, when we had Annalise Carpaccio on, she was like, "I want to do a Sarah Bareilles song," and I'm like, "Cool." You know, when Angus Clark was on, he's like, "I want to do a Demi Lovato song." I was like, "All right," you know. Let's see. Okay. David Nolan, how did the 4001 CS play compared to my own 4001? I like my 4001 better, but it was really cool playing my uncle's prized bass. I've never been allowed to play that bass, but he knew we were doing this song, and I think my uncle is kind of Nigel Tufnell about that bass. He's like, "It can't be played, never." So he's like, "Oh, you're doing Yes?" He goes,
He knows if you
"Take
let
my
you play,
bass."
you're going to be bothering for it all the time.
Yeah. Thank you, HVFD59. Thank you so much. I like drama. I like drama a lot. But you know, think
Oh, we got less than a minute, by the way.
that's okay. I think the John Anderson stuff is better use of Anne-Marie's skills. You know what I mean? Steve K, have you ever listened to songs, albums so much that you could sing all the parts from beginning to end? Yeah, sure. Absolutely. Eric Clapton and the Blues Breakers. I could play every lick on that album. You know what I mean? It's. I missed
like the first 10 Iron Maiden albums. I can do all that right now, probably.
Yeah. And Andy can play, like kind of blue. Like, well, I'm making funny. What's the? Oh no, you can play.
Actually, talk.
What?
I know all the parts I can't play any of them, but I know all the parts.
I bet if someone put on what do you call it, Beneath the Mask?
Beneath the Mask. Yeah,
you could probably play drums along that whole album.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna end this Zoom and invite you to another one. Okay.
Okay.
Hold on. Give me a second, guys. I'm gonna before we get chopped off. I'm gonna just proactively make a new Zoom. Give me a sec. I know this is riveting. Let's see other questions. Yeah, I missed a whole bunch of them. All right, I'll find them. Oh, I missed a lot. I suck. Hold on. I'll get them. I'm scrolling back up. There's a lot, guys. Okay, here we go. The next question is Martin Bulak wants to know, admit, Andy Graziano. He wants to know if all the guitars were Helix. Yeah, most of them are Helix. Sometimes, no, on this they were all Helix. Everything was totally Helix. All right, I'll bring, let's see, it was gallery view. Oh wow, that's a cool image that we have right here. Yeah, so all Helix. A lot of times when we record this stuff, we do DI and Helix, but I end up using the DI a lot because we don't want to futz around too much with making presets. Like on and you and I, for example. Rob, Kip, and my cousin Phil, their electrics, they were going in completely dry. Like they were listening to the DIs while they were playing. So that was a little weird. Oh, wait, let me flop this around. There we go. Let me fix this. Hey, look at that. Look how nice that is.
We're back.
Okay. So yeah, all Helix. Thank you for that, Martin. Have you ever seen these from Dr. Baseface? Have you ever seen the transcribed? Have you ever seen the transcribed and solo tracks in Jam It, Cram It for these songs? No, but there are a lot of YouTube people that have isolated tracks for these, and we use them a lot.
Those were invaluable, especially for Close to the Edge, because a lot of the guitar licks, for me specifically, like you can't even hear in the mix. There's something at the end. He squeezes in this lick at the end that's right before, like, the said remark, like right at the very end. And it's like a contrary motion thing. It's not even like on our video, like the camera's not on me when I play it, but it was like the hardest thing in the whole song. And he just sneaks it in at the end, bastard.
Here's one.
Yeah, I would never have even heard it if I didn't have those isolated things. So it's very, very helpful.
Larry P wants to know if there are any John Anderson notes that Amory has trouble reaching. No, I think it's kind of a little low for her, actually. If you could believe that. What was the first Yes show the three of us saw together?
I would say somewhere between 96 and 98, somewhere around there.
That sounds right to me. Thank you, Lights Out.
Probably summer of 96.
Yeah. Let's see. What's the next Yes song? Well, we don't know. Oh, yeah. Thomas Hall asked about the charts. No charts. We're writing the charts ourselves. Thank you very much, Steve Broderick. Any requests? How about having a go at Going for the One? I would love to play Going for the One. I love that song. Bill Blackstar.
I'll never be able to play that in tune.
Yeah, you know what? Like, slide guitar is easier for me. I tried playing that pedal steel. I had much easier time playing in tune on traditional slide. Have any members of Yes seen your covers that you know of? I'm going to just answer with one word. Yes. Question for Andy Ascalise. Did you really feel like putting on the cape gave you some sort of channeled power?
I guess it did, because it worked.
Yeah, because you sucked until you put it on.
It worked.
Okay, and you and I this is from Sean Jones. Was Rob using keys, VSTs, or hardware? A combination of both. I used mostly Rob sounds, except for the soloed Moog stuff that I used Air Vacuum, because I like that a little better. It sounded a little more authentic. And then the end, he did this split where he was playing piano in the left hand, and he was doing Mellotron and Moog in his right hand. And the only problem was that his piano was a little too hot in the mix, so I had to redo it in Sample Tank. I had to remake that sound because I didn't have enough control over it. Jim Stenquist, would we consider doing the 90125 album? We did Owner of Lonely Heart, but we did that before we started getting really serious about the production of these videos. Like, I think that video was done with all internal sounds, no MIDI, and Brandy holding a camera phone. I think that's how he did that. And that almost has 1 million views.
Wow.
Next song, Tempest Fugit. I love Tempest Fugit. Dave Shalom says, you thanked John Anderson in the credits. Was there something recent that prompted that? I will answer that with one word. Yes. Let's see. Do you guys, Stupid Fluffy, do you guys even consider this music to be challenging? Yeah. Yeah, it's really hard. But you know what? You know what was the hardest Yes song, for me at least? The Calling.
Yeah.
That was the hardest one. Because
you got the Trevor Rabin part. It's
very precise.
Yeah, it's like
All the parts are very precise.
Yeah, you can't jam on that one.
Precise in a different way than these ones are.
Yeah, you can jam a little bit. There's like a little bit of jamming room on this. There's no jamming room on Talk. Let's see. I think I answered George Cassidy's question about the drums and guitar sounds. Dave C., when am I going to get back to my Sunday jams? As soon as the BOC schedule chills out. Yeah, it's pretty crazy right now, but I'm thankful for it. But I am dying to get back to the Sunday streams. They were very fun. Do I keep the tempo maps on in the mix? So we did a video on this on my channel. We use a Motu 1248 audio interface, and that gives us all discrete mixes, so everybody can hear what they want. I know in You and I had a decent amount of click in my reference track. I did like a click and like a MIDI piano, just so we can tell where we were. How many hours in total to produce these songs? Okay, so Close to the Edge took a very, 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 very long time. because of the way we recorded it. We've gotten much more organized recently. Like now we really make sure we have what we need in terms of camera coverage and audio. And the fact that we're playing with a tempo map makes this stuff much, much easier and quicker to put together. In fact, I had, let's see, we recorded And You and I a week ago. A week ago from right now, we were in here recording And You and I. And that was probably the fastest I've ever been able to turn around a song like this.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we answered all these. Steve Broderick says, so, Richie, is Steve Wilson going to remaster our version next? How cool would that be?
You should get him to redo the Progeny albums.
Yeah.
The reissue pack.
I don't even think that exists. I think there's maybe a spool of CDs somewhere with that. Bill Blackstar wants to know, what's the ratio of physical pedals to VSTs? It's all plug-in. All plug-in. We except for Rob Kipp. Rob Kipp spent the time to get the sounds ahead of time, and we ended up using most of those. The problem is, like I said before, I don't want to, while everybody's sitting here, I don't want to start fiddling with, oh, this is not the right guitar sound. Like, I get us in the ballpark, I take a DI, and then I reamp later while I'm not rushing. I have a nice, I could take my time. Oh, thank you very much, Scott Sherbert. Thank you. In memory of your stepfather, thank you very much.
I don't want to speak for you, Richie, but the other thought process is that as individuals, we might think we're getting the sound, but when it comes time for you to mix it, it really depends on if it blends all together.
Right, especially like when you're worrying about so many things and you have headphones on, you think it sounds one way, and then I listen back and I'm like, oh, I can't use this. Right. The only time that happened to us once when we were doing a roundabout, because, Andy Graziano, you are a tremendous guitar player, but you're not really an engineer, and COVID kind of forced everybody to become engineers. You know what I mean? So I remember, there was one thing I was like, Andy, whatever you do, make sure I get a DI on this. And you were like, oh, sure. And then I got the tracks to you, like, there's no DI on this. And you went, oh. You shrugged or something. I'm like, ah.
I don't own a DI. I need to fix that.
But it was, you did a decent enough job getting the preset that I didn't have to, I didn't have to say do it again.
Well, I used your Steve Howe. I used your Steve Howe tone.
Okay. Although when
we used the sound that we made in Close to the Edge, pretty much.
Yeah, I was a bit of a prick when we started doing those lockdown videos, because there were several times where we would do something, and I would be like, guys, this is great, do it again. So with the right now, for example.
We all had one moment of that.
Yeah, I was like, it's great, do it again.
Yeah.
Turns. The point. We took turns.
I got my bass part in.
We each took turns disappointing you.
Hey, Listen, if you think I'm hard on you, I'm hardest on myself.
I know.
Let's see. Supper's ready. I think 16 and 17-year-old Richie, Andy, and Andy would very much like to play Supper's Ready.
That would be approved.
I think Rob Kipp would explode.
Yes.
I think Rob Kipp. You know what? I think Rob Kipp should just do that by himself. He should split screen himself doing Supper's Ready. He'll get
Supper's Ready. That's another one with 12 string guitars.
Yeah, he should just do a split screen video, and he should get the flower head, and he should. I would love that. We have done Porcupine Tree, Todd Wine. We did Halo.
Right.
Or
Porcupine Tree.
Dave Clemens, quote, "We should have done Lucky Man." Am I familiar with John Anderson's first album, Elias of Sun Hillow? I am, and I got it as a gift from Andy Graziano on the original vinyl.
Yeah, that's right. That's got a new expanded edition now, I believe.
Bill Blackstar would like to know, do you guys use Steven Slate drums? I want to get Steven Slate drums because I keep hearing great things about it. But I have Slate Trigger, which I use sometimes, which is a great plugin. Sean Jones, I think I answered the And You and I sound question. The deal with another question about the 4001 versus the Chris Squire bass. The Chris Squire bass is amazing, and it sounded great. The only thing I didn't like about that bass is that it comes default from the factory wired in mono, and I can't do my split amp, pickup thing that I do on my bass. That was a bit of a drag, but still, it sounded awesome.
Your Rico sound?
Yeah, I got to do the Rico sound. Okay, here's one from Hippie Long. And if I missed anybody, if I missed anything, I apologize. Hippie Long says, "Do we write our own progressive stuff?" Funny you should ask. We have several albums worth of progressive material. Andy and myself, we made one when we were in college. Called Progeny 1999, which is a predominantly prog rock album that you can get. It's on available digital streaming, and you can get it from my website. Then Andy Ascalise and I, we did Morning Starlet, which is sort of progressive metal. Would you say that's progressive metal?
Yeah. Yeah, it has some progressive elements to it.
Andy Ascalise's newest album has many adult chords on it. So that would be considered progressive, I think.
He knows the extensions.
Yes. Amory's new album veers into that a little bit. I didn't get too proggy with the stuff I wrote for Blue Oyster Cult. I was trying to keep that rock
and roll.
Rockin'. I guess Alchemist is a tiny bit proggy. But the album I'm working on now, which I'm going to transition this into Melissa Martin's question. Hi, Luciana Romano. I'm going to transition this to Melissa's question. My album definitely has prog moments. There's one tune in particular, which is a song of just me and Andy Ascalise, where we... it's like me and Andy unleashed. Me and him played everything, and it's crazy. There's another song where I had Andy Graziano on it, which is just a metal fest. So there's a lot of different things going on in my album. It's coming. The album's actually done. It's officially done. All the parts are recorded. Last time you guys asked me, I said, it's mostly done. Now it's 100% done. My list of everything is done. Now I'm learning how to model 3D chairs, because I was hoping that I would be able to get some major support of, getting like a team to animate this, but it's looking like it's going to be sort of a DIY thing. So I'm teaching myself how to do 3D modeling and animation.
You should get Netflix. Get Netflix on board. You could have
you sound like somebody's dad right now. You know that? You know what you should do? You should call Netflix and get them to do this. That's what you sound like right now. You know what you should do? You should call the Ellen Show and have Ellen on you.
I would like to do that, but the only problem is you guys are literally the only the two people I know.
Yeah, the album's going well. It's sounding great. I had tremendously talented people. All the band geeks played on it. All of my BOC friends played on it. All of my people that I really got on with on the road, they're on it. So I'm very excited to bring that to you. But I have a little bit of a movie to make first. And I think Steve K. Any interest in doing Rush songs? We did Closer to the Heart early on. And I do Free Will on my live stream. The problem with doing Rush songs is... I
don't have enough drums.
That's one problem, but that's exactly right. Like, the issue is that with Yes, there's a little bit of wiggle room because the live versions are different than the studio versions. So we can sort of change them a little bit. Rush, you have to play them exactly like the record, because when Rush does them, they play them like the record.
I love Rush too. They have like creeped into like my top 3.
Oh, they're
favorite
amazing
bands of all time, and it's that's pretty much that. Like Alex Lifeson plays those solos, like he plays them that same way every time. Like the drum parts, you got to have the, like Andy said, you need the giant drum kit, the whole deal.
Right. So if we did that, and it was like, and it was anything less than perfect, we would get flamed. So that's why I'm sort of like leaving. And also there's like a whole cult of Rush tribute bands. You know what I mean? That do it spot on. So it's like, why? Like, it seems like because there's so much of that around, that's sort of like an arena I'm hesitant to enter. Whereas, like, if you look up Rush covers, like the guy that the guy Tyler Warren, who plays with Queen now, who's really, really talented, he did an entire Rush album split screen by himself, and it's note for note perfect, every instrument. I'm like, that exists. So I don't know if we can improve on that, but in terms of covers, there's only a handful of people doing these covers, and I'm not saying they're bad. I'm saying they're very good, but there's a handful of them, and it's a little looser in terms of interpretation. That's how I feel about that. Anything from drama? We said that before. I mean, anything's possible. Right now, we don't have any plans to, but I think we have a couple of guests we want to have on first, and there's a couple of like theme shows we might want to do. What is Amory doing musically these days? Bilbo, if you haven't gotten it, Amory's new album Little Dangers came out a few months ago, and it's incredible. It has a superior audio mix that I did. I'm kidding. I mix it, and she did a great job. So I think that's it for the questions. Anything you guys want to add about this experience?
Us?
Yeah.
I had a very fun time. Thank you.
That was perfect.
Have a good time all the time.
That's right.
Now this definitely checks off like on the list of like my life's work. This is one of the things that's on that list. I did that.
This is your resume. You just hand this link to people.
Yep.
Yeah.
I say, got any questions? Call Richie Castellano. He's got all the skeletons in the closet. He knows all that stuff.
Yeah. Oh, also, as soon as I end this live stream, I'm gonna make the individual and you and I video public, so you guys can watch it. And all of the technical specifics are in the video description. Are we gonna cover more Alanis Morissette? Hey, you never know. I mean, the whole Emily thing. Emily wanted to do. I think I screwed things up for Emily, to be honest, because when Emily came on the show, she wanted to do like Janis Joplin and stuff like that, and I'm like, no, because once again, like if you go on YouTube, you'll see hundreds of spectacular Janis Joplin covers. You'll see Bobby McGee times 1,000, and they're all great. I was thinking like, well, what would be interesting for a female vocalist to do who's got some grit, some soul, and I thought Dio. So and that had such an overwhelming reception from people that now like people want to hear her continue to do heavy stuff, and Emily's kind of like a little bit folky. So that kind of puts her in a funny position. But I got to tell you, I'm trying to detach myself from this when I say it. I'm blown away by how great she sang You Ought to Know. Like that, that was like, we had a moment in this room when we were playing that. Like that was like one of those moments you kind of wish happens on stage, right? But it happened in a studio and we captured it. And it was just like, it just felt good. And she was like, she drove the bus, and it was awesome. And of course, I'd love to do more stuff with Emily.
There was some comment before about like, when you turn the button off when you finish recording and you look at each other, like that was a moment like that where we're like, ooh, that was good.
Yeah, we got something there. Yeah. And also, it's like there's so few opportunities these days to record all together, and especially after a year and a half or so of not being able to do that. It
felt so good.
It felt great. Full disclosure, we had to do a take 2 on the Emily thing because we recorded both those songs, and it was a disaster. Mainly technically speaking, because this was our first time shooting, and I lined everybody up awkwardly, and the video looked stupid, and I had so many problems. That I convinced everybody to come back again, and I'm glad we did because it was great when we came back. But you're gonna have like little kinks to iron out when you have a new room, And again, round of applause here for Andy Ascalise for doing all this fantastic work here.
My pleasure.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go have dinner. And I'm sure these fellows would like to do the same. Thank you so much for joining us. Thanks to everybody who stuck around since the beginning of the premiere tonight. That was really fun. And let's do it again soon. So everybody have a good night. Let me figure out how to end the chat. Good night, guys. Thank you so much. And see you soon.